the departed Pheroze Norwojee, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and pleasure to be able to say a few words this afternoon. Pheroze was first and foremost a dear friend. He was a father, a teacher, literally a teacher, having taught me trust accounts at the law school. A mentor, having mentored us through the corridors of justice. He was an extraordinary human being, a person with deep conviction about the rule of law, about fairness and justice. I remember when Pheroze found us at the corridors in the 90s, Imanyara had been detained alongside Mohammed Ibrahim, now a judge of the Supreme Court, and Dr. John Haminwa. We had looked for a president and we had filed a habeas corpus application. I was leading the young lawyers who were with me in the corridors. None of us had done such an application. We were lost, trembling, and waiting to be called in. Pheroze comes along and asks, "What do you have?" He knew why we were there. He looked at it and he said, "I will lead you." From there on, he became our teacher in those matters, and he has mentored so many since then. Pheroze kept his fidelity to the law to the end of days. He was the go-to person. There was a time in the 90s during the struggle when a judge wrongfully suspended me from practice after we had been convicted of contempt of court as council members of the Law Society. It is Pheroze who did an application in the Court of Appeal, then the highest court, for me to offset that wrongful injustice, which kept me out of practice for a month. Many, many other times, I've gone back to Pheroze, and so have many, many people in problem. For him, practice was not about making money, it was about justice. The number of cases Pheroze handled, if it was about money, he would be one of the richest lawyers in town. But instead, he was the greatest pro bono lawyer I ever knew. In 2022, after the elections, he was not actively in court, but we went to him once again, asking him to come and lead our team. And he accepted, and he did so. But Pheroze was in court without being in court. I was, and I'm still, with the Law Society of Kenya in the abduction cases. Pheroze would call me with the research he had done, with submissions he had prepared. When I was not available, he would call a mutual friend, Lynn, to bring the documents to me. Eventually, I had to look for a young lawyer who would shuttle between me and him and rush materials to court. It's only after his passing that I'm telling my colleagues that research, those submissions, were from Pheroze. As I went to Uganda for Besige, Pheroze was drafting. He was advising. So he remained loyal and committed to the pursuit of justice beyond his appearance in courts. Pheroze was a friend of everyone. It didn't matter your social standing. And my heart is so warmed to see the social justice centers participating in this, because his last days, he didn't know, but something was urging him. Because I remember before he left for the US, he went to the social justice centers. He went to the museum in Mombasa and to this museum. He sat with me and drafted my evidence affidavit for my case, my reference in Arusha. And we were to meet in the United States in DC to complete the drafting of that affidavit. Instead, I received the news of his passing when I was in the US myself. So we thank God for the time we had with him. And I'll relate just one more thing. There was a dinner in their family home in Nairobi, just a week or 2 weeks before he went to the United States. That dinner was hosted by his family, Binaifa to be specific, and those of us who were present, we take it that it wasn't Binaifa's party, it was the farewell for Pheroze. We stayed late, a group of us remained in the house. We stayed late up to 1, laughing, discussing, talking many things about Kenya, the governance and issues that we need to correct, about the human rights movement, and generally having fun. He was at his best, witty, humorous, and we had a fun night. That's the last time I would see him. I consider myself very lucky and honored to have been able to share both serious and light moments with him before he left. Pheroze was one of those human beings who come after a long time. But I am so glad that I see Pheroze in members of his family, not just the physical appearance, but the core traits of Pheroze are not gone. They are with us. We will remember him. Thank you, Vilu. Thank you, Binaifa, Sia, and Elchi. Thank you all, the family, for sharing him with us. Be comforted by the great legacy and rich legacy he has left behind. Pheroze, in his thoughts, will forever be with us. May he rest in peace.